Hey, welcome back to this episode of Think Business with Jim Pappas. Jim, it's great to see you again. Thanks for taking time to be on Think Business again. You're with Fusco, Shaffer, and Pappas, architects and planners. And I thought we could talk a little bit about today. I know you're doing some exciting projects, and I thought we could talk today about making a difference and how you and your company, have that as a through line to really, get entrenched in community. And so how are you looking at that? What is and what has been your philosophy?
Really, our corporate philosophy, we're all in business. We all have to make $1 or $2, and that's the goal. But if you can find projects that make a difference in the community, it's satisfying, and it changes the world a little bit for the better. So our corporate philosophy has been to pursue projects for seniors, homeless, battered children, a lot of different areas like that. And we've made a conscious effort to pursue those types of projects.
Yeah. So where did the consciousness come from? Was it the foundation of, the business being created back in, 1963? Was it an evolution of consciousness that came about? Because I think a lot of people right now are in the boardrooms with a different level of consciousness today than maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And they're looking at their business and they're saying, I want to get this business a smidge more in alignment with a higher frequency of consciousness. So how did you get there?
I started with the firm back in 1984. And at that time, we were doing quite a few projects, affordable projects for seniors. And it really stuck with me. After meeting with seniors on the site and in the buildings, and how important this was to them. And it really gave me a mission that as I took over the reins of the organization, to make a real effort to pursue it and do this type of work, and not just in the senior arena, but in all different types of nonprofit organizations that are doing wonderful things for the communities.
What did it resonate in you? I mean, take me back. You are entering the firm in the 80s, but it resonated with you. It seems like on a deep level. So, rewind the seed of that for me.
Me personally, I really have the belief that it's everyone's responsibility to change the world.
Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, all of us that we do our part. It's not like I'm a senator or a congressman and I can make big changes, but I can do my part. I can help in my own little way. And this is what I do for a living. And that's how I can help. That's how I can help make a change. You can, everybody has their own little niche. You can't do it all, but everybody's got the responsibility to do just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So let's talk about some of the projects you are doing. What are some of the things that you're doing, Jim?
Recently, we finished up a project for an organization called Wayne Metro. It was a shelter down in Rouge Park, and currently we're working on a couple new projects. One, it will be supportive housing for people that were previously homeless, and that's with the organization called Cass Corridor Neighborhood Development. That'll be housing in Midtown. And another one's kind of a unique project is with St. Matthew's Church on the east side of Detroit had 2 school buildings, and we are converting those school buildings to housing, affordable housing for individuals. And it's a great cause. And it's a nice, working with the church. They had these empty buildings. They weren't using them for school, and everybody came together. And now instead of 2 empty buildings in a neighborhood that's really looking nice, it's a great part of town. And now we're going to have occupied buildings.
That's great. Talk to me about how your business has changed over the last, pre and post COVID.
The COVID years were interesting. A lot of people working remotely. We've got back in the office for our business. Being in the office, I think, is important, just because we do a lot of inter-office communications where we sit down, look at the project. Everybody's got a pencil in their hand and they're drawn on a piece of paper, and it just adds. It's a better environment for design purposes. Mm-hmm. It's not. People think that architects go off into the dark and draw up buildings, and it doesn't work like that. It's a very collaborative effort with a lot of different people. The architects in the office, engineers, and I really like that communication that you get in person. Yeah. I think it just works better, and I'm seeing more of that come back to life, which was for a few years there, it was difficult for everyone.
Yeah, no, it absolutely was. Are there certain things that you find now that people are back in the office? I'm seeing there's more collaboration. Maybe meetings are a little bit shorter. Maybe, how are you doing certain things as far as, collaborating internally, meetings and things of that nature?
Well, I think it's really turned into a hybrid type of situation. A lot of our meetings today are combination in person and Zoom, that depending on the location of some individuals there, part of the meeting is part of a Zoom meeting, and then we have a number of people in the room who are involved directly. So I see that continuing into the future. I don't see the Zoom meeting going away, or that it's a valuable tool, and I think we're going to use it quite a bit, going into the future. But I think the combination of in person and Zoom is just it's a good tool. It works.
So you are, you're architects and you're planning, and here we are in a landscape when it comes to real estate in general, where I think we may start to see a couple changes, right, in the office world in particular. Mm-hmm. As people are hybrid, maybe not going back to the office. What do you think, as an architect, what do you think will happen to some of these empty spaces, these office buildings? To me, it's like maybe we can only have so many WeWorks, right?
Right.
Right. So what does the landscape of, let's just focus on office for a minute. What does it look like, and how do you look at it with the eyes of an architect on how to repurpose?
I agree with you that the office market. I don't think it'll ever come back the way it was before. So we've got quite a few of these, not necessarily vacant, but maybe less than full office buildings. One thing that I could certainly see occurring is converting that, an adaptive reuse. One thing that is needed is still housing. The rental market still needs new homes, and that's a huge area. I see a little bit of a slowdown in the single family sector, but in the rental sector, I still see a strong market. And I don't see why some of these office buildings, in the right location, for example, in downtown areas, would make great conversions to residential.
Yeah, apartments, especially, and I appreciate you saying that, because, it's in the world today, it's for a first time buyer, it's kind of like the minimum price of a house today, from studies I've read, is gone up to $300,000. Mm-hmm. That may change based on the, as people listen to this, but construction costs are so expensive to repurpose an office building. I agree with you. It could be a great rental at a reasonable price.
Absolutely. And we're actually involved in some residential developments in downtown areas throughout the country, where we're doing like infill of an office or of a residential building in a downtown area. And that's the type of environment people really are looking for. You know, an apartment setting where you can walk out of your apartment and have access to shopping, dining, activities, and never have to get into a car. It's a huge amenity today. So I certainly see that as a possibility for offices in those types of locations.
Yeah, it's great. All right. Tell everybody who your ideal clients are, and just as a firm, you know, all the projects. We focus a little bit on the community element, but tell everybody a little bit on who you are and what you do.
We're an architectural firm located in Ferndale. Been there about 9 years now. We've got about 30 people on our staff, and we really specialize in places people live, and that is any place that you might live, whether it be an apartment, special needs facility, nursing care, child care, anything you can imagine, and any unique environment is really our areas of expertise.
That's great.
My favorite clients, truthfully, are nonprofit clients that have a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's always easier working with a group that does a lot of development as part of their mission. It's sometimes a little bit more interesting, you might say, working with inexperienced groups, just because they're doing a wonderful job. They have a mission, but they don't always understand the process.
Yeah,
you know, it's interesting, you know, it's a unique process if you haven't been, you know, experienced with it. And development can put gray hairs on your head.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that quick speed round. Since you last spoke, Jim, a book or a TED Talk or an article that's had an impact on you?
I just read an excellent article. And I forget who wrote it, but it had to do with the issues why our workforce is dwindling, and it had some interesting insights. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. I'd love to see it. Best piece of wisdom you received before you were 20 that you use in your business today?
Work hard.
Yeah. And finish this sentence. One thing everybody can do to get a little bit more involved in the community, no matter how big or small it is to
do it.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Too many people say they're going to get involved, but don't.
Yeah, I love it. Jim, it's always a pleasure having you on Think Business. I really appreciate you being on the show, and appreciate Joan Frank and Be Frank PR getting you on the show. It's always great to connect with you. Think community, you know, I'm a business coach. I work with salespeople and managers and owners of companies. And I work with successful people who are stuck and get them unstuck. What I love about this show is I get to bring on guests like Jim and give you another voice to get you unstuck. Jim, you shared a lot of amazing stuff today, and I appreciate all of it. I just want to kind of extract one piece of it, which is we all need to do our piece in the community. No matter, there's nothing that's too small. And just doing something little really, really, really does go a long way. So, Jim, I appreciate you being here today. You can get to Jim's website at FuscoShafferPappas.com, and you can get to me at JonDwoskin.com. Jim, appreciate you being on today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, John. And those are excellent words of wisdom.
Thanks.
Thanks.